Ready. Hiya, my name is Nina Sofia, but you can call me Fia. I am a creative soul and an entrepreneur, and I'm currently in the process of moving abroad for the second time in my life. And I'm so excited. I'm here to show you how to make your exciting new life abroad feel normal without losing the adventure and travel magic. So if you're ready for the biggest personal growth of your life, then you've come to the right place. Traveling and moving abroad can bring so much excitement, but at the same time it can be so exhausting and confusing and scary and just so overwhelming. The first time I moved abroad, it was definitely for adventure and something new. Of course we want to keep that magic and the travel and adventure and exploring and all the excitement of moving abroad and traveling. That is why we move abroad, isn't it? Or at least a big part of it. But when you're living abroad for an extended period of time, it is crucial to find those mundane, boring, everyday routines that just helps you to settle into your new life abroad. Because living as if you're on an endless vacation, that is definitely going to exhaust you at some point. That's not even a question. That is why these mundane, boring, everyday routines will help you find your magic in a very balanced and settled and calm way. Not just for surviving, but actually for thriving as an expat. And if you don't know what expat means, expat is basically the definition of someone who is not living in their home or native country. So someone who's moved abroad and living somewhere else for a longer period of time. But it's basically the same as an immigrant, only in my opinion, immigrant is very loaded with negative vibes. So I'm here to help you find that balance. And together we will uncover the casual magic in every mundane, everyday moment and activity. A bit about my story and what inspired me to leave Norway behind and embrace the expat life. Honestly, it's been a lifelong dream for me to live in the UK since I was very young. Some of the best memories that I have from my growing up is watching British crime series with my mum and nan. There's just something about the scenery, the culture, the language, God, I love English, and also the humour that just really drew me in. 3 years ago, during my master's programme, I finally got the chance to go on exchange to the UK, and I decided to go to Cardiff because I have some family there. And to be honest, that has been a lifesaver at many points during that exchange period. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, the preparation for the exchange was like so hectic, so chaotic. I had so little time. Everything was just cramped up. I thought that the university was going to handle a lot of the paperwork and applications, but they didn't. I ended up doing mostly everything on my own, and that was so stressful. And with COVID-19 still being like a big thing in 2021, because I went abroad in 2021, if you didn't do the math, that just created more paperwork, more tests, like all the tests I had to take. It was awful, but definitely worth it in the end. So by the time I finally arrived in Cardiff and I'd settled into my flat, I think this was about a week after getting there, I had the biggest mental breakdown I think I've ever had in my life, or at least that I can remember. I'd been working for months to put this all together, and I'd been pushing away all the stress and all the bad feelings. I was so focused and just getting all the paperwork done and all the tests done and everything that I needed to actually be able to go on exchange, because everything was so cramped in time, and I just pushed away all the stress and just neglected my feelings and my emotions and my body, what my body really needed. So when I got there and I'd settled into my flat and I just had a moment to breathe, it just hit me like a wrecking ball. I'm not joking. I felt isolated, I felt alone, I felt exhausted, I felt tired, I felt confused, I felt terrified. I was living in a place that I've never lived in before. I had been in Cardiff with my family, but that was nearly 10 years ago. All these emotions and feelings were hitting me like a wrecking ball. But at the same time, I was so super excited to be there. Despite the rough start, these turned out to be the best months of my life. They were absolutely amazing. I experienced the most significant personal growth I've ever had. And the resilience I built up from having to manage myself and everything all alone in a foreign country. It's invaluable. I learned new things about myself that I never knew before. I gained a new network and friends for life. So actually, I knew way before I left Cardiff that when I came back to Norway, I'd just finished my master's degree. I'd return to Cardiff with a one-way ticket in hand and shitloads of suitcases with my whole life in them. But let me be real, and I've hinted to this already, all these positive experiences did not come without hardship. There were plenty. Being so far away from home is never easy. You can have all the FaceTimes or phone calls or messages that you like with your family, but it's not the same as sitting down in the same room as them, just sipping a cup of tea or a glass of wine or whatever, watching a movie, just being in the presence of them. And that was really, really hard because I'm a very homey girl. Always loved spending time with my family, just enjoy home life. Not being fully understood because no one speaks your native language, that can be so frustrating. I even had a mini breakdown when I realised that one of the TV shows that we watched as a family together back home wasn't available outside of Norway. Pro tip, a VPN fixes that super easy, but in the moment the homesickness just hits so hard during those small things and situations. Mindset really shaped my journey. Moving abroad this time, I've had so much more time to prepare, and that has been so good for my mental health and well-being. I've been through so many hiccups in this process, and I constantly just tell myself that, it's okay, I don't have a deadline, and this is okay because now I can take time and I can focus on my mental health and my well-being. Sometimes it's so frustrating to not have a date because, it feels like it just stretches out into eternity, and that is just awful. But at the same time, having so much more time, nothing is as hectic and chaotic as it was the first time, and that has just been so good for my mental health and my well-being. I've had really much time to focus and explore ways to keep the balance, manage my routines, and just focus on my mental health and well-being during this whole process, and it's been great. It's been crucial, to be honest, because I speak from experience now. As a future expat, the most important thing you can do, besides of course getting a job and getting a visa and all the hard facts, the most important things you can do is going from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. That change, it makes all the difference. It's literally vital. Yes, I do exaggerate a lot, but this time, no, it's vital. Fixed mindset, change it to a growth mindset. It's everything as an expat. And if you've already decided that you want to move abroad and that you are going to move abroad, then that is a step in the right direction, mindset-wise. It is crucial to keep nurturing that growth mindset throughout the whole journey, not just during the preparation process, but during the move, during the actual transition, after you've moved and you're settling in, and then honestly, for the rest of your life, as long as you live as an expat. It's super important because your mindset will shape your entire experience abroad, whether you believe in it or not. And having this realization when I first moved abroad was one of the reasons why I created Voyage Aspire now. When I first moved abroad, and even when I'm preparing to move now, I found little to no tips, advice, information about the whole process of moving abroad. One thing is finding out what kind of visa you need. To be honest, I didn't even find that. There is information about these specific things such as the different kind of visas, the different kinds of insurances, the different kinds of leasing, renting, housing, but I couldn't find anywhere information about how to do things or which choice is the right for me. Which visa should I pick? I spent so many weeks trying to figure out which kind of visa I need, which kind of visa is the right one for me. And to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure, but I've landed on something and we'll see how it goes. I will let you know. When I made it official that I was going to move abroad this time, I just had this epiphany. And they were you know what? Not only do I want to, I need to share my experiences with the world, because there are definitely other people out there who are just as frustrated and confused and absolutely clueless as I have felt during the first time I moved abroad and during this time, because moving abroad as an exchange student and moving abroad as just an individual person moving abroad to settle abroad is two extremely different things and two extremely different processes. Believe it or not, I will tell you about that later though. Anyway, I just really wanted to share my experience because I want to help you to make the best out of your journey in moving abroad. Helping you find out where you can find out and how you can find out which visa is right for you and what kind of job you should take and how that process is applying for jobs and what you need. To be able to work as a music therapist in the UK, I need like an authorization from HCPC like the Health and Care Professional Council. And I didn't know that before I contacted one of the music therapists that I know in the UK. There is so many things that just aren't out there black on white that we need to figure out all by ourselves. And I just want to be there to share with you every single one of my experiences when it comes to this process of moving abroad, because it is hard and it is challenging. And there are things that I wish I knew years ago that would just make everything so much easier. But at least I figured them out and now I can help you make your journey so much smoother. And that is basically why I created Voyage Aspire. I will be sharing my wins, my challenges, my strategies for moving abroad, my tips. I'll share vlogs with you. I'll share my whole process because I want to make this a smooth journey for you. I want to help you thrive abroad. I want to help you find out the things that I had to find out all by myself. I did get through on the other end though, I'm fine. But it can be really stressful. So remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on any life-changing advice. That's me. Now I'd love to hear about you and your journey. I'd love it if you wanted to share your journey with me. And please do reach out if you have any questions. So that's it guys. That's my first ever proper YouTube video and I'm so proud of myself for going through that. Like, that is basically just me reminding you, own your journey and grow with intention. See you next time.